Hello there, YouTube. This is video number 1. Today I'm talking about something that has been on my mind for a long time. Something that I think is the truth, something that I think a lot of us could do better understanding, especially myself, but everybody would benefit from hearing this, understanding it, etc. What I want to talk about is the nature of man in the mortal realm. Now that sounds like a bunch of weird mumbo jumbo, but I promise if you just stay with me for a moment, I'll make it all make sense. So, um, from any religious point of view, we are serving something greater than ourselves. And from a lot of atheistic point of views, we're serving a larger purpose, or we're serving society. We're serving some supernatural ego, if you will. And what I'm here proposing is that what we're actually trying to do is we're actually trying to interpret the world around us through limited means. So let me explain. I'm speaking here from a Catholic Christian point of view. In my religious view, according to the Bible, God created heaven, earth, everything. And then he creates Adam as a compatriot almost. Obviously, they're not on the same level. One is the father figure, one's the son, one's the God, one's the worshiper. But what's Adam's main purpose here? It's to explore and understand the creation that his God has created for him. And in that process, Adam kind of loses sight of that interpretation, that exploration. He trades it in for seeking a power over it. He wants to be in control. He doesn't want to experience it. He wants to be the man in charge. And that's what leads to him falling down in sin, falling down in morality, falling down in everything that made him worthy of being in the presence of God. And then what happens after Adam falls? Every human being that comes after him, from him, his wife, etc., they all continue this cycle. And in the Christian faith, it isn't until Mary, a woman who is born like the rest of us, she never commits a sin in her life, and she gives birth to the Son of God. And we call him Christ the Redeemer. Why do we call him the Redeemer? Because he takes away our sins and gives us a second chance to re-experience this life. Now, all of these prophets in the Bible, all of these spiritual figures, and of course Jesus as well, all have this one thing in common. They are experiencing things. They're not trying to control things. And what I mean by that is, look at what they do. A lot of them organize people. A lot of them organize people to follow them and to try and help them better interpret and understand the world around them. So instead of saying, I'm going to rule these people, they're saying, I want to lead these people. What's the difference there? Ruling is saying, I have control over you. Leading is saying, I want to show you the way. Leading in the modern era is often ruling with the label of leading. And so what I'm here to talk about today when I say the truth is I'm here to say that the way in which we interpret the world is different for everybody. But the truth is the world doesn't change, right? This is something covered in so many philosophy aspects, books, videos, everything, movies even. But the thing is that we often miss is that when we are experiencing life, we are not idolizing life. We are going through it, not going through the motions per se, but going through life with this attitude of gratitude. We're going through life trying to understand what's around us, not just knowing things, but understanding. You can be a professor, right, in university and know like everything about a subject. But if you don't really understand it, you can't ever really teach it that well. And that's the difference between a great teacher and a bad teacher. So when we look at people who seem so happy with life, sometimes they're rich, sometimes they're poor, sometimes they're in the middle. But what they have in common is they're experiencing life. They're understanding, or at least trying to understand the people they meet, trying to understand where they come from, trying to understand where they're going. They look at life with this perspective of how do I experience, how do I enjoy. And when I say enjoy, I want to be very careful here, right? Because there's a lot of things that we can enjoy as human beings that are horrible. Uh, Holding and wielding power is one of those. Now, when I say enjoy life, I want to focus on the word joy. Joy is something that it's not as strong of a feeling necessarily as a dopamine hit from maybe a vape cartridge or, you know, um, getting with a attractive person or getting drunk, things like that. Those are fun. Okay, those are like, oh, this is fun. I had a fun time. I'm having a great time doing this. But once it's done, and you want to go back because you went up so high that now when you're coming down, it's like, well, what else is there to do? The difference is that joy is more of a state of being. Joy does not rise maybe as high, but also if you look at a lot of like let's take physics for example. If I was to throw this pen right here at a very high trajectory, it's gonna go up high, but it's also gonna come down like this. Now if I throw it at a less high trajectory, but I still throw it with some force, if I throw it at maybe this angle, it's going to travel a lot further. So when we do things that bring more joy into our lives, what we allow ourselves to do is we allow ourselves to experience, understand, and take away. When something is so instant, so potent, we don't really get anything from it because it's so fast and we lose it. And also, these extremely dopamine potent activities, there's nothing to learn there. It's very intrinsic, very selfish. We're trying to have fun for ourselves. When we do joyous activities, giving back, learning, things like that, we are giving to others. And I think it's just worth noting that, especially now in our modern era, we are so filled with this necessity to make ourselves so happy. When I bet that the most joyous moment of your life was probably good news for somebody else, helping somebody else. And what's created in some of these small communities that I've seen, for example, I saw this in Tunisia. Um, there's a lot of these small communities where people help each other and they get joy out of that. And they're not, maybe as monetarily well off as the United States, United Kingdom, etc., but they have a sense of joy and belonging as they help each other. Their goal is to help each other. And a lot of times, yes, these smaller places, they usually are more religious. But if you look at the message behind that religion, what you're going to see is pretty much the same across the board if you really, really look. It's that we all benefit more from helping each other than just helping ourselves. And so I really just wanted to get that message out. And I just hope at least one person sees it, one person hears what I'm saying and understands. And I hope that we can all, especially myself included, that we can all try to implement this more into our lives and it'll improve a lot. It will. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great one.